If you're running for office and you're a Democrat, the Republicans have just made your life so easy. All you say is, you know what? They cut $800 billion for health care for the poorest among us. And they gave $600 billion in tax cuts for the wealthiest among us. Please don't lie. Please stop saying on TV that liberals are the ones asking for a CBO score. You've asked for a CBO score for years. I know, because I was there with you asking for a CBO score for years.
That's Joe Scarborough, former Republican congressman on Morning Joe today, making his feelings clear about the GOP health care bill. So are the rest of the media giving the bill a fair shake? Joining us now on the media panel, Ellen Ratner, bureau chief for Talk Media News and Fox News contributor, and Franco Ordonez, White House correspondent at McClatchy. Thanks, both of you, for being here.
Thank you. Thank you.
Ellen, it seems like, in general, the media are piling on this Republican bill, saying that it's, the sky is falling because of it. What do you think of the coverage?
Well, I actually think the coverage has been confusing, but somewhat fair, even though it has been confusing. I think that I wish the media would have taken more time, and will take more time, looking at the various people who are trying to promote their interests, in other words, the healthcare companies, et cetera, and who is doing the lobbying, because I think that is really fascinating.
The Cook Political Report has taken a look at, the seats that are up for re-election in 2018, and something like 20 Republicans who hold seats are supposedly in a little more danger now, Franco, because of this vote.
Yeah, I mean, it's the huge question. How's it going to impact 2018? You mentioned the Cook Political Report. You got to think about guys like Republican Mario Diaz-Balart and Carlos Curbelo, both Republicans. Their districts had some of the largest Obamacare enrollment dates. But, I really do feel like we really can't count out the Republicans. Trump, especially with Trump, he's really proven to be a pretty effective salesman. And among the 20, I got to say that guys like Diaz-Balart and Carlos Curbelo are not on that list. And, there were 20 Republicans who did not vote for this. And there's a question, will they be impacted? Because they were, reasonably the most vulnerable.
Ellen, the coverage doesn't take into account very often the fact that, it talks about people who might be tossed off Medicaid or might have to pay more for health insurance and so forth. But again, I come back to this time and time again. In most of
it could be that kind of thing. We still haven't seen the CBO report. The Senate is taking it very slowly, or at least slower than the House was. I think there's so many different issues to fall, and the Democrats particularly need to be careful that they don't push it too much. They don't want to become the same people that they were complaining against in the Republican. It's kind of hard to say that you rise above partisanship, and here you are, you have them singing in the House chamber, nah, hey, yeah. Goodbye.
Reince Priebus, who was the top Republican as head of the Republican National Committee, now he's, of course, President Trump's chief of staff, says he thinks voters are going to reward the Republicans for their health care efforts. Listen to this, Ellen.
They're going to reward the Republicans that stood up and said, we're not going to see the Obamacare system, which is failing and collapsing, continue any longer. We're going to do something better, and we're going to do our job as legislators to get this thing done. I think that the Republican Party will be rewarded.
Possible, Ellen?
Well, of course, anything is possible. In this day and age, anything can happen in terms of politics. However, again, the press needs to do its job in terms of really outlining what is in the bill, what isn't in the bill, what the CBO scoring will eventually look like, what the senators want versus what the House wants. And the press has not made that clear to the average person.
And the press also needs to tell the full story of the people that they are interviewing, not so much in newspapers, Franco, but on television reports. A lot of these people who are crying the blues about what's going to happen to their coverage are not going to be affected at all when you dig deeper into their backgrounds.
I got to agree with Alan. I think the press have to really dig deep, really have to go hard on this issue and really uncover what is. We can't stay too focused on the horse race, which we all know we often do. But I think with this issue, it's such a an important legislation, important bill, and there's so much attention to it. So I'd like to think that we're going to step up to the challenge.
Let's hope. Franco Ordonez, Ellen Ratner. Thank you both.
Thank you.